Ever notice how the universe has a funny way of whispering sweet nothings when life's smooth sailing, but when things get rough, it practically yells through a megaphone? That silence you've been feeling, that gut-wrenching aloneness, that sudden chaos flipping your world upside down. It's not punishment, friend. It's the universe cranking up the volume because you've finally reached a frequency where you can actually hear what it's been trying to tell you all along. Most folks spend their entire lives with spiritual earplugs in, drowning out the calling with distractions. But you're different because you're feeling the discomfort. And that discomfort is your invitation to awaken. When everything falls apart, the universe doesn't send gentle reminders when transformation is knocking at your door. It orchestrates complete dismantling. Your carefully constructed life starts crumbling. Relationships that once felt solid suddenly feel hollow, and that career you've poured years into loses its meaning overnight. This isn't bad luck or cosmic cruelty. It's the universe speaking at maximum volume, clearing away everything that doesn't align with your true self, so you can finally see what's been hidden underneath. Think of it like renovating a house. You can't build something beautiful without first tearing down the walls that no longer serve the structure. When Sarah, a corporate lawyer I knew, lost her job, her relationship, and her sense of identity all within 3 months, she thought her life was ending. Turns out it was actually beginning, because those losses forced her to question who she really was beneath all those roles and titles. The spiritual awakening symptoms during this phase hit hard. Intense emotional fluctuations, feeling disconnected from reality, questioning everything you once believed. You might wake up crying for no reason, feel overwhelming anxiety mixed with inexplicable peace, or suddenly realize that the person you've been pretending to be doesn't match the soul screaming to get out. This energetic hypersensitivity isn't a breakdown, it's a breakthrough in disguise, stripping away the false self so your higher self can finally emerge. Don't fight it. Lean into the discomfort, journal through the chaos, and understand that every tear is washing away an old belief that was keeping you small. What makes this phase particularly loud is how the universe uses external circumstances to mirror internal misalignment. If you've been ignoring your intuition, settling for less, or living someone else's dream, life will hand you undeniable evidence that something's got to change. The universe isn't subtle when you've been hitting the snooze button on your spiritual alarm clock. It'll shake the entire bed. This is when synchronicities stop being cute little coincidences and start becoming impossible to ignore signposts pointing toward your authentic path. The deafening silence of isolation. Right when you need people most, the universe often strips away your social safety nets, leaving you in what feels like spiritual isolation. Friends drift away. Conversations feel superficial, and suddenly, you're the odd one out at gatherings because you can't pretend to care about small talk anymore. This aloneness isn't abandonment. It's the universe creating sacred space for you to finally hear your own voice, without the noise of everyone else's opinions, expectations, and energies drowning it out. During this phase, many people panic and try desperately to fill the void with new connections, but that's like trying to hear a whisper at a rock concert. Solitude is where the real transformation happens. The ego fights this isolation tooth and nail because it craves validation and distraction. But spirit knows that consciousness expansion requires withdrawal from the matrix. You might feel like you're living in 2 different worlds, straddling your old reality where everything made sense and this new awakening where nothing does. Your heightened sensitivity makes you pick up on energies others don't even notice, leaving you exhausted after social interactions that used to energize you. Instead of forcing connection, use this time to meditate daily, even if it's just 10 minutes of sitting in silence observing your breath. That's where your soul will reveal truths your busy mind has been too loud to hear. This is when you start recognizing that the universe speaks loudest through your intuition, that inner knowing that suddenly becomes crystal clear. You'll just know when something's right or wrong before your logical brain can justify it. Trust those gut feelings when they tell you to turn down that job offer, end that relationship, or move to a new city. Your higher self is navigating now, and it sees the energetic portal opening ahead even when your physical eyes can't. The loneliness you're experiencing is actually preparing you for deeper, more authentic connections that match your elevated frequency. Physical body shouting messages. Your body becomes the universe's loudspeaker during spiritual awakening, manifesting symptoms that Western medicine can't explain. Sudden fatigue that sleep doesn't fix, mysterious aches, brain fog, or feeling like electricity is running through your veins. These aren't signs you're falling apart, but rather evidence that your energetic system is upgrading. The physical vessel must recalibrate to hold higher frequencies, and that process feels uncomfortable, like growing pains for your soul. When the universe cranks up the volume, your nervous system responds because energy and matter are intimately connected. What's shifting in consciousness must also shift in the body. Common physical manifestations include changes in sleep patterns, heightened senses where lights seem brighter and sounds feel louder, and fluctuations in appetite or energy levels throughout the day. You might experience what feels like waves of energy moving through you, particularly during meditation or moments of stillness, signaling that energetic blockages are clearing. Some people report tingling sensations, pressure in the third eye area, or even temporary dizziness as their chakras open and balance. Rather than masking these symptoms with medication, support your transformation by drinking more water, spending time in nature, moving your body through yoga or walking, and eating lighter, higher vibrational foods like fresh fruits and vegetables. The universe uses physical discomfort to make sure you can't ignore what's happening. When your mind tries to rationalize away the calling, your body speaks truth. Sarah, the lawyer I mentioned earlier, developed chronic migraines that disappeared completely once she quit her job and started pursuing energy healing work. Your body's wisdom is communicating that your current life path is literally making you sick, and healing requires alignment with your true purpose. Dreams becoming supernatural classrooms. When the universe speaks loudest, your dream life transforms into a mysticism school where lessons download directly into your subconscious. Dreams become vivid, symbolic, and often prophetic, showing you potential futures or revealing hidden truths about your present. You might dream of flying, which represents your soul's desire for freedom, or of floods, symbolizing emotional release and purification. These aren't random firings of neurons. They're the universe bypassing your skeptical conscious mind to plant seeds of wisdom directly into your awareness. Start keeping a dream journal on your nightstand and write down everything you remember immediately upon waking, even if it seems nonsensical. Patterns will emerge over time, recurring symbols, people, or scenarios that hold personal significance for your spiritual development. You may also experience lucid dreaming, where you become aware you're dreaming and can consciously interact with the spiritual realm, or receive visits from guides, ancestors, or your higher self offering guidance. The consciousness shifts happening during your waking hours amplify during sleep, when your ego's defenses are down and spirit has full access. Pay special attention to dreams that feel different, the ones you wake from with your heart pounding, tears streaming, or an inexplicable sense of knowing. Those are direct downloads from the universe, and they often contain specific instructions for your next steps. Maria, a student of mine, dreamed of a red door 3 nights in a row. A week later, she stumbled upon a healing center with that exact red door, which became the place where her spiritual growth accelerated exponentially. Synchronicities become undeniable. The universe speaks through meaningful coincidences that pile up so high you'd have to be willfully blind to ignore them. You think of someone and they call seconds later, repeatedly see specific numbers like 1111 or 333, or encounter the same message in 3 different places within a day. These synchronicities are the universe's way of saying, you're on the right path, or I'll pay attention here. When spiritual awakening reaches peak intensity, these signs stop being occasional and become constant, creating a feeling that you're in direct communication with something far greater than yourself. Angel numbers are particularly significant during this time. 111 signals new beginnings and manifestation. 222 indicates balance and trust the process. 333 means your guides are near. 444 represents protection and foundation. And 555 heralds major transformation. But the universe also speaks through animals appearing at significant moments. Hawks for higher perspective. butterflies for transformation, owls for hidden wisdom, songs with lyrics that answer your exact question, or strangers who say precisely what you needed to hear. When you're tuned into the right frequency, the entire world becomes a responsive, intelligent system communicating with you. Document these synchronicities in a separate section of your journal to track patterns and decode personal symbolism the universe uses specifically with you. Mark, a friend navigating career uncertainty, kept seeing feathers everywhere, in parking lots, on hiking trails, even one that blew into his apartment, and each time, he felt reassurance that he was protected and guided. He later learned that feathers traditionally symbolize messages from angels and confirmation that you're not alone. The more you acknowledge and express gratitude for these signs, the more the universe sends, creating a beautiful feedback loop of guidance and trust. Questioning everything you thought you knew. The loudest the universe ever gets is when it demolishes your entire belief system, forcing you to question reality itself. Everything you were taught about success, relationships, religion, purpose, even who you are, suddenly feels like a costume you've been wearing that doesn't fit anymore. This reevaluation isn't intellectual curiosity, it's existential necessity, because your soul refuses to continue living a scripted life written by society, family, or outdated versions of yourself. You might find yourself leaving your religion or finding a new spiritual path, reconsidering political beliefs, or realizing that the American dream you've been chasing is actually someone else's nightmare. This phase of spiritual awakening brings immense discomfort because humans crave certainty and belonging. Yet transformation requires you to release both temporarily. You're shedding layers of conditioning, the beliefs you absorbed from parents, teachers, culture, and media without ever questioning whether they were true for you. Take radical action here. Read books that challenge your worldview like The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer or Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. Attend workshops on energy healing or consciousness expansion, and surround yourself with people who've already walked through their own awakening. Exposure to new paradigms accelerates your transformation because it shows you that other realities exist beyond the limited one you've been operating in. What once seemed important, impressing colleagues, buying expensive things, maintaining appearances, loses its grip on you as inner peace and personal development become your new currency. This reprioritization can be jarring for people in your life who are still playing the old game. The universe is recalibrating your values to match your soul's blueprint, and while it feels like destruction, you're actually becoming more aligned with your true self than you've ever been. Empathy and sensitivity explode. When the universe speaks loudest, it often cranks up your energetic hypersensitivity to the point where you feel everything, your emotions, others' emotions, even the energy of rooms and places. This heightened empathy and compassion can feel overwhelming, like walking around without skin, absorbing everyone's pain, joy, anxiety, and excitement as if it were your own. You cry during commercials, feel physically ill around negative people, or know exactly what someone's going through without them saying a word. This isn't weakness or emotional instability. It's your heart chakra opening and your consciousness expanding to recognize the interconnectedness of all beings. The challenge is learning to navigate the world with this increased sensitivity without becoming overwhelmed or drained. You'll need to develop energetic boundaries. Visualize yourself surrounded by protective white or golden light before entering crowded spaces. Practice saying no to people and situations that deplete your energy, and regularly cleanse your energetic field through sage smudging, salt baths, or simply shaking out your body. Also, recognize that not every emotion you feel is yours. Ask yourself, is this mine? When intense feelings arise suddenly, and if the answer is no, consciously release it back to wherever it came from. This elevated sensitivity is actually a gift once you learn to work with it. It's your soul's radar system guiding you toward healing, purpose, and authentic connection. Empaths and highly sensitive people often become healers, counselors, artists, and/or teachers because their ability to feel deeply allows them to hold space for others. Transformation. Lisa, a corporate accountant who awakened, Couldn't understand why she suddenly felt exhausted after team meetings until she realized she was absorbing everyone's stress. She eventually became a Reiki practitioner, channeling that sensitivity into healing work. Your increased empathy is the universe preparing you for your soul's mission, even if you can't see the full picture yet. Urgent calling toward purpose. The universe's loudest message often comes as an undeniable, urgent calling toward your true purpose that feels both terrifying and exhilarating. You suddenly know, not think, but know what you're meant to do, even if it makes zero logical sense. This might show up as an obsessive interest in a new subject, a recurring vision of your future self, or a deep dissatisfaction with your current path that refuses to be silenced. The calling doesn't ask permission or wait for convenient timing. It demands response, and the universe will make your current situation increasingly uncomfortable until you listen. This is where faith becomes tangible, trusting the universe's guidance enough to take concrete steps toward your spiritual vision, even when everyone thinks you're crazy. Maybe you're called to start a healing practice, write a book, travel the world, or completely change careers at 45. Whatever it is, start moving toward it immediately. Take one online course related to your calling. Set aside 30 minutes daily to develop the relevant skill. Reach out to one person already doing what you feel called to do, or create a vision board that represents your soul's mission. The universe responds to action, and even small steps signal that you're serious about elevating your soul and fulfilling your purpose. Understand that your purpose isn't always some grand, world-changing mission. Sometimes it's as simple as becoming a beacon of inner peace, raising conscious children, or creating art that helps others feel less alone. The universe needs people operating at different scales. Your contribution is significant regardless of how many people it reaches. What matters is alignment, living from your true self rather than performing for external validation. When you answer this calling, life begins flowing with unexpected ease, resources appear, and synchronicities multiply because you're finally swimming with the current instead of against it. So here's the uncomfortable truth nobody tells you. The universe speaks loudest when you're ready to hear it, and being ready usually means being broken open enough that you can't maintain the illusions anymore. Those 7 symptoms you've been experiencing, the chaos, isolation, physical discomfort, vivid dreams, synchronicities, existential questioning, and overwhelming sensitivity, aren't punishments. They're invitations to step into the most authentic, powerful version of yourself. You've been given front row seats to your own transformation, and yeah, it's messy and terrifying, but it's also the most important journey you'll ever take. What are you going to do with this knowledge? Will you numb it with distractions, medicate it away, or finally lean into the awakening that's been trying to happen? Are you brave enough to trust that the universe is reorganizing your life for your highest good, even when it looks like destruction? Start today. Meditate for 10 minutes. Journal about one synchronicity you've noticed. Set a boundary with someone who drains your energy, or take one tiny step toward that calling you've been ignoring. Your higher self is waiting for you to catch up, and every moment you delay is another moment you're playing small when you were designed for expansion. Don't let this be just another article you read and forget. Subscribe to continue receiving guidance on navigating your spiritual awakening, and enable notifications so you don't miss the next piece of wisdom the universe wants you to hear. Your transformation is too important to navigate alone, and this community is here to remind you that you're not crazy. You're waking up. Now go apply this. Share your experience in the comments, and let's elevate together.